Hey everybody, this is Jay-Z, bringing you a video to talk about one of the most important concepts in the game, map awareness, or MA for short. Individual skill and last hitting ability can only take you so far in Dota. It might let you stomp the lower tier players, but you'll never get to the top without the skill. MA is definitely one of the hardest parts about Dota, but it's absolutely essential because Dota is a team game and you have to be constantly watching everywhere and evaluating situations that are happening. Dota is about constant analysis of game situations, past, present, and future. What has happened before, what is happening now, and what is going to happen. Every role in Dota requires MA and you're never going to improve past a certain point without it. This video hopes to teach you to find details around the map, and then it's your responsibility to share the important ones with your team. I also hope to discuss when and where you can start to develop map awareness to really take your Dota experience to the next level. To start, one of the best ways to improve your map awareness is by using the in-game clock to keep track of time. One thing that any high-skilled player does is track Roshan time. Anytime Roshan dies, type in the time, and you'll know that in 6 minutes, Aegis will be reclaimed, and in 10 minutes, Roshan will respawn. The next level above that is taking down the time of important skills with long cooldowns like Black Hole, Reverse Polarity, or Ravage. Doing this requires knowing what level of skill the enemy has and how long their duration is. This will allow you and your team to feel more confident before team fights, knowing which skills can or can't be used against you. Finally, scan the map to watch for ward timer so you know just when you need to have more wards up. You don't need to have every single part of the map warded. Just keep the places where you think are significant warded and watch the timers, because 1 second where ward coverage is down can lead to disaster, and you might even waste sentries because you thought the enemy dewarded, when in reality the ward just died. So here's an example where I carefully watched the time above me. I'm playing Earthshaker and I know that creeps spawn at every 30 seconds. So I wait patiently and time my Echo Slam in conjunction right as the enemy creeps spawn to gain maximum damage. As you can see, the enemy's HP just drops, and we win a convincing late game fight. Another strategy to map awareness is predicting where people will be. In this play, I am Bounty Hunter, and notice that there are 3 people at top for the enemy team, with no Chen. We had just killed Chen and his creeps a few moments ago, so my guess would be that Chen was probably in his jungle reamassing creeps. I pinged Invoker about my guess, and for him to be alert for a Sunstrike just in case, and so I go and check the jungle. Turns out Chen was indeed jungling alone, and so I managed to get a free kill on him. This establishes my presence on the map and guarantees that the enemy will be paranoid and not feel safe alone in the future. There are so many other things you can predict, not just kills. Examples are predicting enemy movements to Roshan, predicting smoke attempts, predicting ward locations, and etc. Just always be thinking about what the enemy is planning and doing. Another example is this RP steal. We were heavily chasing the enemy, and I had this feeling in me that Magnus was just going to turn around, blink, and RP to counter the fight. Thus, I walked backwards a little bit in anticipation to escape RP range, and managed to pull off an RP steal to help win the fight. If you're not thinking about anything at all, you might just run forward blindly in an attempt to go telekinesis someone. But I was thinking all the time that if I were Magnus, it might be the perfect chance to counter RP, and my prediction happened to be right. Next, use the minimap as your most valuable resource. Scrolling with your mouse across the screen to find enemies is tedious. As a result, just when you have free time and see an enemy on the minimap, click on the minimap in that area to check out information about the enemy. Important things to take note of are enemy levels, because different levels means different skill levels. Certain heroes have specific time points that make them suddenly more powerful, like when Dragon Knight has ultimate form, and also enemy items. Memorize the colors of each enemy hero, particularly the supports. If you see on the minimap the support starts walking to a common ward spot, instantly click that area to try to see if the enemy did indeed drop some wards. This allows you to then instantly counterward, wasting 150 of their precious gold and denying vision. Like StarCraft 2 and other RTS games, the minimap is so important for the ability to quickly check what's going on elsewhere on the map. Now that I've given you these 3 important ways to improve your map awareness, I want to give advice on how and when to slowly incorporate this in your game. I know you might feel extremely pressured during lane. You might be worried that when you're checking for all this information, you might get ganked and die. But please, keep in mind that obtaining information from around the map is too valuable to pass up. I'd rather you die a few times and get into the habit of checking the map more than be constantly focused on your own hero, oblivious to your surroundings. It's like riding a bike. The first few times you'll be so nervous about falling that all your efforts are focused on biking straight and not wavering. However, as you improve, this will all become second nature and you'll swivel your head around and take in all the beautiful sensory sights around you. So, here's how to ease into becoming map aware. Whenever you go to place wards down, use that time that you're walking to sightsee around the map. Also, whenever you're stacking and pulling, try not to focus so much on nailing down the pull, but instead take some time while creeps are attacking to scan the map. You don't necessarily need to get every single neutral last hit, so please, just take a few seconds to analyze the situation. And also, when your TP is channeling, that gives you 2 or more seconds to analyze what's happening everywhere. Especially if you're TPing into a fight, check out what's happening to the fight. After doing all these ways to check the map, when you feel comfortable enough, start checking the map even while last hitting. Eventually, last hits will become so natural to you that you don't even need to think about them anymore. And this will let you really gauge the whole situation around you. To conclude the video, I want you to think of DotA as an objectives-based system. I mentioned earlier about how DotA is a game where you should constantly be analyzing the game's situation, the past, the present, and the future. So this is how I play when I think of DotA. I ask myself, what do I need to be doing at this point in the game? Does the enemy mid-hero need to be ganked because he snowballs rather hard and isn't too hard to kill? Are we lacking vision somewhere important? Who will win if everything plays out in this way? And I then set some objectives like, I must gank mid once or twice, so I'll buy a smoke. Or, we need vision around Roshan Pit because the enemy could really pressure us with an Aegis. Or, since we need a few more items to break their base, let's just farm a few minutes more to get that Scythe of Ice. Thus, I make for myself certain objectives to be accomplished. These objectives are never set in stone because, as I said, the game is constantly evolving. I revise these objectives constantly, based on how well I'm meeting them and what the enemy is doing. I hope this video helps you see my mindset when I play DotA. Map awareness is, in my opinion, what separates the top tier from the average DotA player. When you see pros like Merlini stream, it's insane how much time they're spending clicking all over the map to see what's going on everywhere. They do it so fast, too. They have an overload on information, and they process it so unbelievably fast. I'm still working to be able to do this, but it really does take some adjustment. I might stream some over the summer if you guys would want to see my player perspective on how I watch the map and make decisions. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I really hope this video helps out.